Some spicy NBA playoff action last night. Thanks for getting up with us today. Welcome to Undisputed. I'm Jen Hale here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning.
So, Mr. Sharp, you're in Indianapolis because of a white coat ceremony that you attended yesterday for your daughter. So she's now on her way to becoming a doctor. Does that mean at some point pretty soon she will be supporting you?
Let's hope so. Well, Skip, I did repeat the oath that they asked all the medical students to repeat.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that makes me a doctor either, though. So I did repeat the oath, though.
Well, is it, in your case, it's probably called the Hippocratic Oath, right?
Hypocritical oath?
Yeah, that's what you are.
Instead of HIPAA?
Yeah. Way to go. Congratulations.
You started
early this morning, Skip Bayless.
I did. That was a good one.
I think he misses you in person, Shannon. He kids because he cares.
He does.
All right, let's jump right in. In a recent podcast interview, Colin Kaepernick spoke at length about his future. He said he has, quote, unfinished business to win a Super Bowl. Cap also admitted he'd be open to taking a minimum salary backup quarterback job if that helps facilitate his return to the NFL. Now, Cap did add, that's not where I'm staying. And when I prove that I'm a starter, I want to be able to step on the field as such. I just need that opportunity to walk through the door. Shannon, we've seen so many workout videos from Cap lately, but we haven't heard him speak like this in years. So why do you think he's doing all this right now?
Well, Skip, if I'm not mistaken, I think he spoke to I Am Athlete. I think Brandon Marshall's podcast. Ocho Cinco. I think that was the podcast he was on.
Yeah.
But Skip,
and Pac-Man.
Skip, I think the biggest... Yes. Yeah. I think the biggest thing that he's realizing that time is running out. He's about to be 35 years of age. I just wish he had adopted this stance 4, 5, 6 years ago, Skip. But I think he's coming to the realization. He says, well, I'm willing to take a minimum salary. I'm willing to take a backup role. I believe those were going to be his only options if an option was granted to him, Skip. But at the end of the day, he says the NFL, they have these, these slogans, end racism and end hate and things like that.
Yep.
This is not a league. This is not a league issue. You're going to have to convince one of these 32 owners that to give you an opportunity. And like Jimmy and Dee Haslam was willing to take the blowback that's going to come along with Deshaun Watson. Skip, when you sign Colin Kaepernick, one of these owners are going to have to be willing to take the blowback because he is the face. He is the face of the kneeling during the playing of the national anthem. Even though there's nothing else going on at that time, he is the face of that. And so that's going to drudge up some memories, and some fans and some of the fan bases are going to be upset with this. And the ownership is going to have to say, you know what? We believe this guy, the blowback that we're receiving, we believe this guy's talent is so supreme that we're willing to roll the dice and says, okay, we know this is only going to be temporarily before he gets on the field and quiets some of this criticism. So I think that's what Cap is up against. But for me, Skip, it is so close to the draft. Cap is about to be 35 years of age. They're about to have a draft, and they're about to draft, let's just say for the sake of argument, somewhere between 5 and 15 quarterbacks. Is a team willing to cut, and not to count some of the young quarterbacks that's already on an NFL roster, is a team going to be willing to cut some of these guys' reps in order to give them to a 35-year-old Colin Kaepernick? That is a question that these teams are going to have to ask themselves. So I hope he gets an opportunity. It seems to me this is the greatest, I think for me, Skip, this is maybe the clearest sign that Cap is indeed wanting to return to the NFL. Prior to this, the last couple of years, Skip, I wasn't so sure. I heard what he was saying, but we never heard him actually, it was bits and pieces. A trainer said, well, Cap wants to play. Someone close to Cap says Cap wants to play. This is the first time that I've heard it come out of Cap's mouth himself that Cap wants to play in an extended period of time. It's going to be interesting to see if he gets that opportunity. But, I mean, Seattle needs a quarterback. But it looks to me they're going to draft a quarterback or wait until Baker Mayfield is released and sign him. So I don't really know what's going to happen, Skip, but I do think that Cap realized I'm not getting any younger. The clock is going that way. It's not going the other way. And so it's either now or never if I'm going to get back on the NFL field and play football.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, and I think I am, your remaining gut feeling, which you've had all along, is no way he gets his foot back in the door of an NFL team?
I don't believe he does, Skip, for two reasons. He is the face of the protest, and he did sue the NFL for collusion. He did sue the NFL.
He did.
I think, are we just going to, like, sweep that up? Like you tell me, are you just going to sweep that up under my carpet? That happened.
It did, and they settled with him, and I don't think they loved it, the NFL owners. So here we go again. And I want to drive home the point that slowly but surely, Colin Kaepernick has launched what I would call a national campaign to get back in the NFL. Because remember, this was his first interview, but it came on the heels of the big workout that he staged at the University of Michigan spring game at halftime, because that's his coach. That was the coach, Jim Harbaugh, who gave him a shot. Remember, midstream that year that Alex Smith, the #1 overall pick, was playing pretty well, Jim Harbaugh said, I got a kid behind him who can take us up a notch, who can take us to a Super Bowl, which Colin then, once Harbaugh had the guts to go with him midseason, led them to the Super Bowl and led them within one uncalled pass interference of winning said Super Bowl, as you recall, against obviously his brother John Harbaugh and the Ravens. So now, from what I'm hearing, Colin is doing workouts in a lot of NFL cities, but not under the auspices of the team in that city. He just goes into the city. I heard the other day he did a big workout in Dallas. It wasn't sanctioned by the Cowboys, but it was under their nose, as in it's just sending a message. I'm here, and you need maybe a backup quarterback because I'm here for you if you want me. And look at my tape. Obviously, it's tape against air. He's not being defended. He's just throwing. And I heard from our friend John Wooten, who attended the workout in Dallas, who used to run, obviously, the Fritz Pollard Alliance overseeing the Rooney Rule. John went to the workout, and John scouted for, like, what's he up to now, 60 years in this league? And he called me that night and said, he can play tomorrow. He looks great. He's in great physical condition. The arm is still rocket arm. I don't doubt any of that. And yet he did another workout in Seattle because obviously they need a quarterback. And he did another workout, I was told, in Miami. I'm not exactly sure of these because they're a little bit under the radar. But he's just sending messages to teams. Here I am if you need me. And I'll come. Anytime you want me to come work out just for you, I'll be there. So the problem
Skip,
go ahead.
Skip, not to cut you off, Skip, but you remember in the beginning, Cap didn't want to work out. Cap said, my tape should speak for itself. So what I was trying to say in the beginning, Skip, is that I wish he had adopted everything that he's doing now.
Agreed.
I wish he had adopted that 5 or 6 years ago, but he was so stuck in his ways. He was so like, no, I'm going to do it this way.
Yes.
And my tape speak for itself that a backup should be beneath me. Me having to work out for you should be beneath me. Now he's saying, I'm willing to do all of that because, as you said, Skip, at the time, he was 28, 29 years of age. Now he's about to be 35. He realizes the hourglass is going to, the sand is coming to the bottom of the hourglass.
Okay. So, Shannon, I'm just going to speak with my heart right here, right now. What is my gut feeling about Colin Kaepernick's ability to play quarterback in the NFL? I believe right here, right now, he would be better as a starting quarterback than, I'll just throw out a conservative number, than 4 or 5 quarterbacks who will start games next year in the NFL on opening day.
Okay.
So let's get back to my Cowboys. I've thought about this. I slept on this overnight. I said this last year. Would I like to see Colin Kaepernick as the backup to Dak Prescott? You bet I would. But I can't sell it too hard because the truth is, I don't know. It's 5 years.
Nobody knows.
Hey, seriously, Shannon, in all your years playing in this league, watching, studying this league, have you ever heard of a player being gone for 5 years and saying, I'm ready to play again? and stepping back on the field and immediately achieving the level at which he was playing 5 years hence?
No.
You can't know. I'm not saying it's impossible, because Colin Kaepernick, I wouldn't bet against this.
But Skip, Skip, here's the thing. Any athlete will tell you, you get better at your sport playing said sport. Remember, I had Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson said the reason why I lost so much when I was incarcerated is because I couldn't fight.
Yeah.
Skip, it was only 2 years. It was only 2 years for him, and he was never the same Mike Tyson that we remember.
Yeah.
Colin Kaepernick has been away from the game for 5 years. You don't get better just throwing the football, against air. You get better playing football. Yeah, you can sharpen some of your skills. In the offseason, Tom Brady, does drills. He drop backs. He's throwing the ball. But Tom Brady gets better in competition, which Colin Kaepernick has not faced meaningful competition in over 5 years.
Okay, let's go back to my Dallas Cowboys. Let's do the hypothetical. Let's say that Jerry Jones signs Colin Kaepernick to be Dak's backup. Well, first problem with